are a lot of walls that have been created in our life, like from what we believe, religion, politics. In this case today, we're going to be talking about how so many walls have been built, and we're going to compare religion, science, and spirituality and see if we can't find some commonality in some of these things. Most people don't know that Buddha and Jesus had a lot in common, like a lot. And that there's a lot of traditions in India where there's a vast majority of people believe during the missing years of Jesus that he was in India. And if you really read the New Testament, it really alludes to that in a lot of ways. It's pretty fascinating. But they do say a lot of the similar stuff. Do unto others as you would, like be done to yourself. It's just pretty simple stuff. Consider others. Like, why wouldn't you not? Like, that's just some universal truths, right? You don't have to be a Jesus or Buddha to understand a lot of these simple teachings. You will know them by their fruits, says Jesus. And then Buddha says a tree is known by its fruits, as a man by his deeds. I mean, like, isn't that true? Like, I know Jim from his actions. Y'all know me from my actions. Like, it's just kind of the way it is. There's a lot of similarities in their philosophy and their teaching. This was a tough one for a lot of us. Love your enemies and pray for them. Now, I prayed for them, but it wasn't about anything good. But sometimes, as you get older and you start to practice that, you start to get a little bit better at it. You're like, okay, I really don't like that person's actions. That doesn't mean I don't like the person at their core. Like, maybe they can change. And I think they probably can. Then Buddha says, hatred does not cease hatred. You can't continue to hate somebody and think that it's all going to be better. Like me and Dean can't, if it were even possible, if me and Dean were to get mad at each other, we couldn't continue to escalate the madness thinking that's going to solve it. That's crazy. If Devin all of a sudden thought he wanted to start swinging at me, I'm not going to solve the problem by escalating it into more swings. Maybe just one. But this is what really stands out to me whenever I think of Buddha and Jesus' philosophy. Where your treasure is, your heart is. And Buddha says that the mind is everything, whatever you think you become. And that is true, because we've done a lot of presentations here on whatever you focus on, that's what you're getting. If you focus on only the negative, that's what you're getting. If you focus on, man, I sure am glad I have these relationships. I'm really glad I'm developing a relationship with these three guys that have been coming out. Well, I don't know where the third one is. Where'd he go? I'm glad to see Trey again, who used to come out a lot. Whenever you start to think about, oh man, life sucks. If I only think life sucks, life is just going to give me what I ask of it. If I say, oh God, I'm just in pain all the time, well, I'm going to continue to see pain and pain and pain, whether it's emotional, physical. I mean, some physical things you can't get around, but it is true. We are what we focus on. And most people don't think Christianity and Hindus have much in common, but they do. They both, Christians and Hindus, compassion, forgiveness, self-love. They both believe in a supreme God. And this really cracks me up about, I've had a lot of people over the years of doing this say, well, you don't refer to God enough. You say infinite intelligence or the infinite energies. And I'm like, well, that's true, because that's what resonates with me the most. But isn't God's not a name? It's not a name. The Bible itself says Jehovah. The name of God is Jehovah. So God is just a label, just as universal energies, infinite intelligence. We're talking about the exact same thing with no difference at all. Well, that's just my little 2 cents about something else. But they have a lot of similarities, that we are to detach ourselves from materialism, to seek higher truth and the importance of a righteous life. And I think no matter what your belief system is, whether it's Buddhists, Hindus, Christianity, we all want to live a higher quality of life. You know, we're like, why would we decide to say, you know, I really want to live a horrible life. I want to look at everybody and be negative. I want to be a Debbie Downer everywhere I go. If Steve's not frowning, man, I'm miserable if Steve's not frowning. You know, like, there are people that are like that, and they're everywhere. Like, if I can't make that person miserable, ugh, we got to send them good vibes, but stay away from them. There's a lot of other things too that, you know, we can't understand what God, the infinite intelligence, like, we can't wrap our minds around what that is. Like, we just can't. We got a lot of different books. We got the Vedas from Hindu, and we got the Bible and the Quran and countless spiritual works. None of that tells us what God is. Like, the mind of man is so finite, so small. We can't wrap our mind around what a million years is. So how could we even wrap our mind around the notion of what God is? Like, we just can't do it. And when somebody says to me that they have all the answers, like, I got every answer, I know exactly what God is, and you better do it this way, or you're going to hell, boy. I need to run. Like, I got to run fast. Plus, I want to bitch slap them, but I don't do that. But I have this inclination to want to do that. But luckily, I've been working on myself, so that's not an issue. How about Christianity and Islam? Most people in the West, in the United States, think that there's no similarities at all. But, you know, Muslims believe Jesus was a prophet, and they both derive themselves from the Old Testament. They are the Abrahamic religions, the three Abrahamic religions: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And they both believe in prophets. Muhammad was a prophet. They believe Jesus was a prophet. That's just interesting stuff. We got a lot of similarities with a lot of different belief systems, but I really never knew that until I got a little older. And Islam also believes, like Christianity, that there's a final judgment based on our deeds. And they practice prayer. Man, how disciplined you got to be to practice 5 times a day? Like, that's a lot. Like, meditating once a day for 15 minutes in the morning and then like 10 minutes at night. Like, sometimes I'm thinking that's a lot. Can you imagine stopping in the middle of your workday to pull out your blanket and kneel down and pray 5 times? That is like some serious dedication. Like, I admire it. I think it's a form of, many of them, it's a form of meditation too inside of their prayer, which I think is great. But contrary to what we've been taught, they do practice forgiveness, mercy, and repentance, which you wouldn't think that by listening to the news. And Christianity and Judaism, they both believe in one God, and we both share the exact same text of the Old Testament and the 10 Commandments. You know, even though the Jews killed Jesus, there's still a lot in common. We observe holy days. They do believe in social justice. I don't know what Christians believe with social justice. It's so all over the place. You can't really wrap your mind around it. But there's so many connections that we just dismiss people outright because they're different than us. You're different from me, so, but are they really that much different? You know, physics is showing us all the time that we're connected. And they're proving that there's something, like, there's this universal energy, there's this God, there's something there. And we can't understand what entanglement even means. It goes faster than the speed of light. So, like, if me and Devin were these 2 entangled particles, and Devin's went to Dallas for the weekend, and I'm here, and he jumps up and spins around, I instantly have to jump up and spin around. Like, how does that work? Like, it's just kind of crazy. It's really crazy. And I don't, if any of y'all or anybody at home, y'all know what the double slit experiment is? It's where they send these protons through these. If you can imagine, I'm holding up a piece of cardboard and they're shining a light through it. And that light, they're sending protons and neutrons through those slits. And they make a pattern on this back wall. They make a totally different pattern if they're being observed. The pattern changes only by conscious sight. And they've even tried it with, okay, it was the human energy, any sort of subtle magnetic field getting in the way. So they even tried this many times. It's been done countless times. They'll put a camera up. Only when that person is observing it does it change. What does that even mean? Like we are, there's just so much stuff we just can't even get. We can't even wrap our mind around that this is not real. Like, I'm not real. Jill feels real, but she's not. You know, like she's not. We're mostly space and water. And what does that even mean? Like, it seems to make our problems and our differences kind of go away. Like, if me and Megan are just space and water, like we're the same thing then. Like, I'm exactly Megan, which is so cool. And I am, of course, exactly Megan because she smiles. And so do I. It's crazy. What is this place? What is it? And what is these things? Do anybody know the golden ratio? Fibonacci? Like every single thing, everything is a Fibonacci code. Every flower, everything. Just look it up if you don't know. That is, to me, one of the sure proofs that there is a God. There is a grand creator. There is somebody designing something that we can't wrap our mind around. We can fight and debate over what text is right, whose view of, you know, the 40,000 different Christian denominations that fight over blah, 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 or the Hindus do the same thing. You know, we have this view that, you know, all Hindus are just the same. No, they have just the same amount of problems. They're all human, and they all got their egos, and they all fight. And they all, oh, my version of this is right, your version is wrong. The one thing that's constant is the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. It's in everything. And we're starting to learn that dark matter is actually a force. Like there's actually something to it. And we're limited. Like I've said this countless times, visiting with y'all in presentations. We can't see everything. We can't. There's so many light waves and so many sound waves. Like, what if we were seeing the sounds everywhere right now? Of the kids playing outside, the birds chirping, the cows making noises, Megan yawning, like all of the, if we could see all of that, like how crazy would that be? And we only see a small fraction of the light waves. And we can't see our atoms. We can't see the vastness of space. We're just so limited. What does it even mean? And now they're coming up with these multiverse things. Like, isn't life already like we can't figure out almost anything? And then all of a sudden they throw, oh wait, there are multiverses too. It's madness. It's total madness. And then we know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So doesn't science kind of go with the afterlife thing? If energy cannot be destroyed, if Jacob's energy can never die, doesn't that validate like most religions? Like we don't know what it fully means, but he's not going to die. His body may change. Well, his body is going to change. Hell, it's changing right now, right in front of our face. He's evaporating water. He's burning calories. He can't burn any fat because he doesn't have any. But he's losing hair. It's unbelievable what's happening to us. It's the strangest thing. And then we just continue to like do stupid crap. We just kill each other for religious intolerance. I mean, Christians have been good at it for thousands of years. I mean, Christians really like to kill people, like in large numbers. And so do all the other religions too. Like you can't just pick on that one because they all do it. Why? Because we got a couple of leaders at the top that want some land, or they want some oil, or they want some mountain, or they want some, whatever. It's always, hey boys, y'all get out there and go kill your otherwise people you'd be friends with. Because y'all are real similar. It's kind of crazy. We weaken ourselves, we weaken our communities, and we weaken our nations by all these divisions. And they're made up. They're just made up. All of them. All of our divisions are just made I want to say made the F up. That's what they are. You know, my God is better than yours. It's like saying my dad can beat up your dad. You know, I mean, to me, that's what it's like. Yeah, my dad can whoop your dad. My God's better than your God. And then what does that ever accomplish? Like, how do we have to be that stupid as a nation, as a world community? Like, it's really crazy. Don't talk to me about this thing. Like, I know you've experienced this a lot, Jim, with your spiritual growth and your distance from a lot of your Christian roots. People instantly just stop you. Stop. I don't even want to understand you. I was your friend, but I'm not your friend anymore because you're evolving in thought that's different from mine. So I don't want to question anything. I don't want to use my mind to try to figure out my friend. Like, if I'm friends with you, we're friends. Yeah, we're just friends. I mean, you could irritate me sometimes, or maybe you piss me off. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Either way, I'm not going to tell you, screw off, Jim. That's crazy. But we've been conditioned to think this way, and how we've been taught, and all of this separation. Just go. I got to run. I got to run away from you. You're different from me. You're thinking different. You're acting different. You did this to me. I got to run. I got to go. I don't want to hear your crap. It's crazy. I really like this because this cracks me up because, you know, doing what we do here, I have had many conversations with atheists, and they always like to throw in how science is so atheist. And that's not true at all. Like, there's nothing true about that. Einstein, the more I study science, the more I believe in God. Max Planck, if y'all don't know quantum theory, this is the father of it. And he is just unbelievable. I mean, we must assume behind this force the existence of this consciousness and intelligent mind. There's a force behind it. There's a force behind it he didn't understand, but he knew it was there. Isaac Newton, in the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. You know, I mean, those are pretty powerful things from the foundation of science. Even Carl Sagan. Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. I mean, these are the fathers of scientific thought. Heisenberg, the father of quantum mechanics, the first gulp from the glass of natural sciences, will turn you into an atheist. But at the bottom of the glass, God's waiting for you. I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff. I just have I'm not going to say his name because of the restrictions on the old YouTube, but I don't like that last guy. He did a lot of damage and harm to the United States in recent years. But even that Yahoo, the language of God is DNA. That's just wild stuff. It's wild. So if that's what you study science and the scientific method, and all of your conclusions is, hey, everybody, there is a God, and I don't know what the heck it is, but I know it exists, and I know it's doing stuff, and there's no way to explain it. And if anybody tries to explain it, like, you better do this exact thing and this exact thing, and because you don't do it this way, well, you group over here, you're going to hell. Oh, you group over there, burning in some other place. Like, come on, people. I mean, come on. Come on. If we just had a little bit of compassion, God, wouldn't this world be a lot better? Like, just a lot better. We are a lot more similar than we give ourselves credit for. And I just think you go get them, baby. If we just open our mind a little bit, if we just meditate, if we just reflect some, if we just stop being judgmental pricks, you know, I mean, we do. Can we just live intentionally with gratitude and wonder for what we don't know and don't understand? Because we don't. We don't know it, we don't understand it, but we know it exists. We know we can meditate, we know we can feel it, we know we can connect to it, and we know we can be grateful. That's what we need to be doing. Thank you, Sam, for barking. I appreciate it. With that, if y'all are in the local area and y'all would like to come out, we are welcoming, we are friendly, and we love people working on themselves like we are, because we're not perfect, and neither is anybody else. And Sam agrees, the barking dog. I love y'all. See y'all later.